Greetings and salutations. It's time for tarot on a Tuesday. Just allowing yourself in this moment to just pause and breathe. Just relaxing into this moment, relaxing into the energy of this moment, into the space that you're in, just allowing yourself to pause and receive, setting the intention to call in a message in the greatest and highest good of the collective. You know, as we, the collective, are moving through so much, have been moving through so much. These last few years have been so heavy. You know, there's been so much that has been unearthed, so much that continues to be unearthed, so much trauma, so much collective triggers that have been just popping off, right? It's a lot, you know, but I believe, you know, all of it is a part of this awakening that's taken place, right? Or taking place. I think so many of us have been in such a deep sleep for so long, and in order to wake up and to see the reality of what is, there are some heavy triggers that, you know, need to take place. And I believe that's the space that we're in right now. You know, growth and evolution don't come without pain. You know, it doesn't come without discomfort. So it's just allowing ourselves to be open to that, be open to the lessons that are coming through, being open to feeling all the feels that are coming up for us. Yeah. So let us see what message comes through for us in this moment. Just breathing into this moment, setting the intention to call in the message that's in the greatest and highest good for all. All right. 8 of Wands wanted to hop out real quick. Let's see. Oop. 8 of Swords, number 8. Do one more. Oops. That's too many. This one flipped over. Oh, this was 2. Okay. Perhaps we will pause there. All right, so we have the 8 of Wands, the 8 of Swords, Five of Cups, and 2 of Swords. All right. So we have 2 8s. I'm not really familiar with the significance of specific numbers. I know that numbers hold a lot of meaning within them. So perhaps it's something you want to look into, something that you already know. If you do know, please, you can put in the comments, share that knowledge, share that wisdom, whatever comes through for you with the number 8. One thing that does come through for me is the, you know, infinity symbol that looks like, you know, a sideways 8, kind of. But nothing more than that in this moment. But yeah, just looking at the cards, 8 of Wands, right? Those look like magical. And it kind of reminds me of like, like in Power Rangers or in those different series or movies where you have a group of like super people, and when it's time to, or even the Care Bears, the Care Bear stare, where they all like, are putting their magic and their energy towards like one space, or, in the Power Rangers or not the Power Rangers, the Captain Planet, right? And with our powers combined, and, they're all like putting their rings, together, and whatever. But just that's kind of the vibe that I get from this hair, because you have the wands coming in from all those directions. So for me, I'm just envisioning like each one being held by someone else, and they're kind of with our powers combined. But yeah, so for me, I guess with that, the idea of combining our powers, coming together in community, coming together to, bring our magic together. We're all so magical. We all have so many skills and talents and things that we have to offer, to create, to bring forth. And I think coming together and putting all those things together, putting those pieces together, the different pieces of the puzzle, it happens when we connect. Sometimes we can find ourselves trying to figure out, how we do these things all on our own. Like, how are we supposed to navigate through all the things, all the feels, and still find that time and space and energy to bring forth what it is we're called to bring forth, but it's not meant to be done on our own. We're meant to come together, to combine our powers, our magic, our skills. And we have the 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords, and it's her reflection, but in the reflection, it's not necessarily what you're seeing on the external, right? So it's like taking that deeper look, realizing that, all the ways that we might be feeling bound or tied or inhibited, and recognizing where all of those perceived blocks are coming from, right? Because we're never actually blocked from anything. There's just that perception that creates the reality, but yeah. We have the 5 of Cups. She's looking longingly into this hole. We have these 4 empty cups that are, kind of in front of her, but that one full one, with the magic that's behind her, and she's not really seeing that, because sometimes we can focus so much on the things that we don't have. We can become so consumed with what's missing that we miss out on the things that are already present, and then 2 of Swords, again, kind of similar to the 8 of Swords, this idea of being bound, and then in both the eyes are covered, right? And in this one, her eyes aren't covered, but they're looking away from what's present and what's there for her, right? So this idea that there's something that's not being seen, right? So allowing ourselves to open our eyes and to see what's right in front of us, you know, to see either the magic that's already there, to see the truth behind the things that might be behind the lies that might be masquerading as truth, you know, allowing ourselves to, yeah. Perhaps I will read. All right, so we have 8 of Wands. All right, action. You know those moments in life that feel like a sprint? This type of speedy energy is at play. It's inspirational, it's fiery, it's positive, and it's now. If you have a gut feeling that needs to be acted upon, listen to it. With all of this movement, avoid being swept along by an unpredictable tide by having clarity about your desires and direction. Harness this beautiful window of swift opportunity. In shadow, the 8 of Wands suggests there's some sticky energy influencing your situation. You want to move, but if your foot's not stuck in the mud, then you've locked your keys in the car. Am I right? If you're fluctuating between having a tendency to hesitate and running so fast that you're burning out, it's time to bring some balanced momentum into your propulsion. Consistent movement that feels right in your heart is the best place to start. It's go time. I fall into the flow of this quickening energy and I swiftly face my desires head on. I think that kind of goes with that part where it says, you know, the 8 of Wands suggests there's some sticky energy influencing your situation. You want to move, but, you know, there's something that is preventing that, right? And just kind of looking at, you know, these other cards where it looks like there's some kind of binding, something that is, you know, restricting, you know, allowing ourselves to recognize what those things that restrict. And it's not necessarily external things. A lot of times it's internal things. It's our own selves, right? We are perpetuating different behaviors or patterns that are making us feel stuck, you know. So allowing ourselves to recognize those patterns and behaviors so that we can begin the work to shift out of them, you know. 8 of Swords. All right, this is a gentle reminder that you create your reality. Look beyond the veil of illusion that your current limitations are projecting. If you're feeling trapped with no path forward, remember that this too is a perspective that can be lifted. When you choose sovereignty over victimhood, you become the fierce wielder of choice. You can free yourself from your shackles and shift your outcome dramatically by accepting that you are the one person who is responsible for your happiness. And I think that's so important, right? Because so often we place that responsibility on the people around us, the people that we are in relationship with, the people that we have friendships, our family members, whoever it is, right? We place our happiness on those external people or even the circumstances, right? We blame our dissatisfaction with life or whatever circumstance we're in on the things that are happening outside of us, right? And when we're doing that, we're giving our power away, right? We're giving our power to something else, saying that this thing has the power to affect my happiness, my joy, right? I'm gonna allow you to disrupt my peace, my happiness, my joy. And the thing is that all of that comes from within, right? And this is not to say that, you know, we are to ignore, because there are very many things happening in our lives, in the world, that bring up a lot of grief, right? Bring up a lot of pain, of hurt, right? A lot of things that we have to move through. And it's recognizing that none of those feelings are bad, right? None of those feelings, we shouldn't be pushing any of those away. We should allow ourselves to sit with them and to feel them. Create infinite portals of possibility by becoming the solution. We are never really stuck. Nurture your soul and spend the time you need to transmute any feelings of helplessness. While we can't control every experience that is put in front of us, or that is put on our path, we can definitely work on how we respond to each one. Let go of old stories and be vigilant of any wallowing. Be vigilant of any wallowing, low vibe thoughts that you may be holding on to. Reframe your experiences as lessons and choose to heal. I am free to choose my healing and my light. All right, 5 of Cups. The illusion is lifting and you may suddenly find yourself in the middle of a reality that is painfully disappointing. If your dark night was a result of someone else's deception, you will need to find the seeds of forgiveness in order to avoid a calloused heart. Release yourself from any guilt around the situation. When we realize that the future we were working toward is no longer an option, it's easy to focus on the loss and allow our energy to stagnate and spiral into self-pity. Don't allow your life force to drain away with the things you once loved. Allow your tender heart to navigate toward the curative magic of finding faith in your future. If you're having a hard time letting go, unhook your heart from your fragmented dreams and give yourself permission to envision a brighter future. Dismantle your grief, reclaim your happiness, and consciously step back onto a path filled with hope. My tender heart helps me navigate toward my bright future. Yeah. I think they so far kind of connect, recognizing that we are the ones that hold the key to our peace, our happiness, and then when you bring that to like a collective level, when we look out at the world and we want to see something different and we're expecting these people in power or these people that we're expecting other people to come in and fix it, right? I think that's where we make the mistake. There is no one that's coming to save us, right? We have to recognize that that's us. We are the ones that we've been waiting for, right? We've been waiting for ourselves to wake up, to recognize what's happening, to recognize our place in all of it, and to accept the responsibility of what we need to do to move forward, and not just moving forward on this same path or trajectory that we've been on, but moving forward and change, right? How we can evolve forward, how we can grow, how we can learn, how we can build towards a better future, right? Because right now, when we look at everything that's happening, and you can imagine, like, if things continue on this trajectory, they continue to unfold in this direction, and we don't do anything, right? We don't recognize the power that we have. We don't recognize the part that we play. Then, what we're seeing now is just going to become increasingly worse, and I mean, that's going to happen anyway, unfortunately. I think right now we're seeing just the beginning, but like I was saying, a lot of this is kind of triggering us into awakening. At least I believe I was saying that That could have been a previous video that I was recording. Hopefully it's the same one. But yeah, a lot of the things that we are seeing and experiencing are here to trigger, you know, a mass awakening so that we can reclaim the power that we've been giving away. You know, we've been giving it away to the people in power, to our leaders, you know, who aren't really leading. You know, they're allowing themselves to be controlled by money, by greed, by power, you know, by the desire to control. All right, and the last one, Two of Swords. Did I finish reading that one before? I think I did. Two of Swords. You know that feeling of not knowing? It's time to make a choice, and it may seem like you're between a rock and a hard place. If you can't decide which way to go, it's because you can't see the bigger picture yet. The Two of Swords is whispering that you must move in one direction. Close your eyes and listen to your internal guidance system for your map. If your intuition has fallen unusually silent, it's asking you to trust yourself and your ability to discern and decide. Even in blindness, you already know the best way forward. When you act, the future will reveal itself and it will help to move you toward your dream. Have faith that the universe is serving you the right experience. At the crossroads of duality, your analysis and overthinking will just get you buried in the quicksand of a million possible endings. So find peace of mind by trusting your judgment. When blinded by the unknown, I can trust myself to move toward the light. You know, because we don't know. We don't know what the future holds. We don't know what's coming next. We don't know what happens beyond each step forward, right? But we have to allow ourselves to trust in ourselves, to trust in our intuition and our discernment, to allow ourselves to listen to that internal voice, that internal guidance, right? Yeah. Yes. And with that, I believe I am complete. And I shall bid you adieu. Sending so much love